If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. Chapter 9. Winter is always a dead time for me. I wish I were like the trees. I wish I could feign death, or at least sleep through the winter. My tiara continues its reign as a permanent fixture on my head. Before long, no one asks me about it anymore. Second semester, I trade gym for health class. On the first day, the teacher, Mrs. Adams, tells us that she used to be a professional water skier and leaves out the part about how she ended up a professional health teacher. It becomes apparent after the first month that every disease we study, she has known someone who has had it. Most of them were on the water skiing team. Angie has the class with me, and Mrs. Adams becomes the frequent subject of our lunch conversations. Walking to and waiting for the bus is now my personal hell. I stamp my feet, keep my head low and my shoulders hunched, and quietly hate the world for being so cold. I am careful to always stand with my back to Sylvie and Finny. I have never told anyone how much I hate seeing the two of them together. They would make too big of a deal out of it and think it meant something stupid. I just don't like her and they annoy me. Some mornings I think maybe Sylvie is talking to me to overhear. When it's really cold out, I think the idea is ridiculous and that I am stupid for even thinking it. It's cold and nothing matters except getting inside that bus and getting to Jimmy. So I was thinking this weekend we should go to that party. You know which one I mean? Yeah. I mean, everyone is going to be there, so we should really go. Is Jack going? Everybody is going, Finn. Class, Mrs. Adams tells us. Eating disorder are not something to joke about. I have seen what they can do to a person. One girl on my water skiing team had anorexia. Another was bulimic. They were such beautiful girls, but these are not pretty diseases. Jamie and I talk on the phone every night before we go to sleep. We talk about getting married someday and what sort of house we will have and how many children. It surprises me how much he wants these things, such normal things and nothing else. Sometimes I am disappointed with love. I thought that when you were in love, it would always be right there, staring you in the face, reminding you every moment that you love this person. It seems that it isn't always like that. Sometimes I know that I love Jamie, but I don't feel it, and I wonder what it would be like to be with someone else. I love him the most when we fight, and I'm scared that he will leave me. After we fight, I want so much to be close to him, and the next day, I want him hand in mine every minute. Sometimes he loves me more than I love him, and he wants me to pay attention to him. But I wish he would leave me alone so that I could go back to reading or talking to Angie about Mrs. Adams. Sometimes we both love each other a lot, and it's hard to hang up at night, and I wish it could always be like that. Class, I was young once too, Mrs. Adams says. I know about the pressures to have sex, not just from your partner, but from your friends and the media and even your own body. It can be hard, but please be careful. I know you think that no one you know has an STD, but that's how they spread. I remember having to hold the hands of several of my teammates after they found out that they had an STD. One girl got herpes, and as we have learned, that's one that never goes away. Imagine having that forever. One morning, it sounds like Sylvie and Finny are fighting. They whisper back and forth, and Finny is suddenly saying a whole lot more than yeah. Now that I want to hear what they are saying, I can't. I glance over my shoulder at them. Finny is standing next to her, glaring at the ground. Sylvie is facing him and cringing to his side as she looks up at his face. From a distance, it would be hard to tell that they are fighting. Please, I see more than hear her say. He shakes his head and doesn't reply. Jamie gives me a surprise ring for Valentine's Day. All day, whenever I see someone I know, I rush up to show them my hand and tell them that I have the best boyfriend ever. He gives me another tiara too. This one is gold and have more curly cues. To everyone's surprise, spring comes early that year.